What are you? You will soon find out.
You know, it was more than 75 years ago that Wonder Woman first leapt onto the pages of DC Comics. It's taken that long for her to get a movie. There were a few false steps, but finally, this weekend, today, the blockbuster opens, and Eli is here to tell us about whether Wonder Woman will satisfy expectations. But number one, good to see you. Good to see you, because this is big budget Wonder Woman, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, $150 million.
Yeah. Wow. Is this the Wonder Woman we have been waiting those 75 years to see?
Yes. This is not only the woman that we've been waiting for, this is now my favorite version of Wonder Woman.
More than Linda Carter?
Even more. Linda's fantastic. I could sing the theme song. But as a comic book reader, never really liked Wonder Woman. I always found her kind of aloof. There were too many contradictions. The Amazon warrior battling for peace. She's kind of hard to make it relatable. But actually, by embracing her godly origin story, they have found a way to make Wonder Woman, well, soar. And so we start on Themyscira, Paradise Island, gorgeous to look at, populated by Amazons, descended from Zeus, there to protect humanity. And there's our little Princess Diana, who has spent her life studying and training. And we see also Robin Wright as the general of the Amazonian army. There she is, training her to become their fiercest warrior. But then what happens? A biplane crashes, an American spy washes up on shore, and Paradise Island, well, meets World War I. And Diana, you see her there getting those magic bracelets, a little tryout. She decides that war is the product of Ares, the god of war, interfering with man. So there comes the plane, there comes Steve Trevor, and he says he's going to take her into battle and show her what war is really like. Let's take a closer look.
If no one else will defend the world, then I must.
Welcome to jolly old London.
It's hideous.
Yeah, it's not for everybody.
Step back. Or maybe not.
And that is Steve realizing that this is a princess that needs no rescuing. She is going to be just fine.
You know, I have to say, I was not all that keen to see this, but I'm just riveted by the scenes you're showing us. What is it that works so well?
So they have a Wonder Woman that is a warrior who is unmatched, but she's led this sheltered existence. She can speak 17 languages, but what she has is book smarts. So she lacks that experience. She's never been out in the real world. And so she is somewhat naive, but at the same time, incredibly earnest. Let me show you this scene here where she's upset by Steve because Steve failed to argue with a politician about what's happening in World War I. Take a look.
This is Ares, and he's not going to allow a negotiation or a surrender. The millions of people you talked about, they will die.
We are going anyway.
You mean you were lying?
I'm a spy. That's what I do.
How do I know you're not lying to me right now?
I am taking you to the front. We are probably gonna die.
So you see that heart that she has, that almost sweetness, really.
A lot of raves about her performance.
Gal Gadot.
Yes, a
former
lot of
Israeli
raves.
soldier.
So, you know, bringing some of her life experience to the role for sure. A lot of discussion about what makes this movie different, a lot of it looking to the female director of all of this. So how does all of that play into making this different from other superhero films that we talk about on many Fridays?
I mean, in some ways there is a difference in that I think there's a little more vulnerability to this hero, but you can't make a superhero movie without those moments of shock and awe. And I have to say, Wonder Woman brings it. There are some fantastic moments where you see her charging into battle. One scene in particular during World War I, where the Amazons alone are fantastic, but then when she goes into the trenches, and I was with the audience, where she jumps over the battlements, over the barbed wire, and charges into battle, the audience I was with, that scene there, they were hooting and hollering. I had goosebumps. But then you ask, well, what does Patty Jenkins a female director in a genre we don't see a lot of female directors. What does she bring to this? And I think it's a certain sensitivity, but also, interestingly, I think it's a sense of equality. Steve Trevor, Chris Pine, almost steals the film. So it feels like in this movie, those relationships are actually more important than just the special effects and the explosion. And I think if the dudes want to take a lesson from this, it's that there needs to be a little more equality. That in this case, the boyfriend isn't just arm candy, but he has a job to do. Gal and Chris together, Gal Gadot and Chris Pine together make a fantastic pair. The only place where Wonder Woman really stumbles is at the end, where it feels like Patty Jenkins, you see her there, is trying to compete with the guys and really kind of outdo herself in the finale. And that's the only moment where Wonder Woman loses what makes her so relatable, which I think is that humanity. But in the end, I give you the Glasner guarantee on this one. This is the Wonder Woman that we have been waiting for, the Princess of Power and then some, 4 stars.